We drove through the mountains from Caracas to Valencia to meet a doctor here determined to show us the horrors that lay inside a hospital controlled by the iron fist of the government.
Driving for more easy access to the hospital.
So if you take us in, it'll be easier for us to get in than if we drive.
Sí, claro.
He and his fellow doctors earnestly and deeply want to get the word out about how bad the situation is.
He doesn't want his face or name shown, but he's determined to show us what is going on inside the main hospital for this city of 2 million people.
Your room right here. And you can see dozens of people outside and a lot of trash that's built up. More patients being brought in.
We follow him into the pediatric ward.
Hospitals provide two things. They provide the bed and the doctor. Everything else has to be provided by the patient or their family. And that's what's so incredible, down to the surgical gowns the doctors wear and even soap to scrub in. Fever? ¿Por qué tiene fiebre? And then we saw these children. It was already 11 o'clock at night, and all of them were moaning, writhing in their beds. Nurses were just standing there. There was nothing they could do.
All of these children waiting for medication and additional testing.
Little boy called Janikel. She'd been there for over 6 weeks, and it was just heartbreaking.
Little Nayali has been suffering from convulsions for months.
Her family had to provide everything, and obviously she's been here 6 weeks, and that is very expensive. As we're trying to leave, somebody pointed us out. Gracias. And they said, those guys are filming. Another guard closed the door to make sure that nobody left. They demanded our GoPro, iPhone, and started asking us what we were doing. We said, we were doing a story about the suffering of children. Reporting is not a crime in Venezuela, but they can make it a crime, and that's what they did. And after they found my mic pack, they handcuffed us, and that's when I realized that we're not going home.
I was ordered onto the back of a pickup, and they drove me through these darkened streets to the police station.
They demand that I open the phone. I say I'm not going to do it unless I get to call the embassy or ABC News. And then a guy comes in with a dipstick. He's just kind of tapping it against his hand. And I'm thinking, in the middle of the night, what is an officer doing here with a dipstick? And then it dawns on me that this is intimidation.
What followed were hours of questioning, the police denying me a phone call and representation.
After browbeating me and intimidating me, suddenly the tune started to change. I was made to understand that what they really wanted was a bribe.
But then I'm told that Venezuela's dreaded secret police, the Sabine, would have to be alerted.
So it was very, very scary, and we took it very seriously because they are the most notorious agency in Venezuela. When you think of the Sabine, you think the Stasi, you think the KGB. And one of the things that we underestimate is the degree to which Venezuela as a government views the U.S. as their enemy. It's a Cold War where they are concerned. And they see U.S. spying in every corner. They asked, are you CIA?
For the next 3 days, they questioned me, asked me to open my phone, and trolled my social media history. I was never harmed, but
I was 6 feet away, maybe less, from the bars of what they call the dungeon. There's always a constant reminder of where we could be sent if we fell afoul of these agents.
On the 5th night, I was released. I left with only the clothes on my back. On the plane, someone snapped this picture of me. Censura! Censura! I was one of the lucky ones. The Committee to Protect Journalists says hundreds remain behind bars.
Venezuela clearly ranks as one of the most repressive countries in the Western Hemisphere. It's a very difficult situation for the press because any kind of independent reporting in Venezuela on sensitive issues is considered an attack against the government. News coverage is censored.
But that doesn't stop courageous citizens across Venezuela from speaking out. People like Vanessa.
Como venezolana me veo que estamos en un país sin rumbo.
The future is uncertain here. But Vanessa and her family are still holding out hope for change.
Necesitamos que de verdad nos ayuden. Es importante.
Our thanks to Matt Gutman and his team for their extraordinary reporting.